Good evening, welcome to Ubuntu channel. And tonight, just like any other Saturday evening, we do have the program called My Point of View. And to host it, my name is Chaza right here, and I'll be joined by the usual panelists right here to actually get react to the stories that we do have this evening. And on the panel tonight, I'll be joined by Himba Malambo, and not forgetting Mr. Mukelebai right here. Himba, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza, and good evening, viewers. Nde chitafe ndimwinjoy ne Chaza twalilo pola mailo. Ndimwinjoy.
Yes, indeed. Our ladies, you know, the Shipolopolo or the Copper Queens made us proud last night, and a big congratulations to them.
Oh yes, that was a brilliant game. Worth to watch it, and it was just so amazing. That was a very good job the girls did for us.
Yes, indeed. And in particular, we have, you know, Barbara Banda, who is actually topping the charts. And I understand that, you know, one of her jerseys were put actually, you know, in a museum, you know, somewhere.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is really good. Zambia Kuchalo. That
Yes,
is
indeed.
brilliant.
And Zambia is actually, you know, right on the map. And, you know, we are just there and we are still celebrating. Congratulations once more. We'll be joined by...
Congratulations to the Chipolopolo girls.
Say that again, Himba.
I'm saying, yeah, congratulations to the Chipolopolo girls.
Yes, indeed. It's definitely big congratulations to them. Let's get to welcome Mr. Mukelebai on set right here. Mr. Mukelebai, good evening and welcome to the program. Mr. Mukelebai, kindly unmute your mic.
Good evening. Sorry, I am trying to find a place to sit. I've been chased upstairs.
Okay, I must presume you have found that place you're looking for. It's good to have you, and you know, it's once again Saturday evening. Without much ado, let's get straight to the first story, and we see you on the other side as we get to add our voices to that story.
We have taken note of the statement that has been made by the Inspector General of Police concerning usage of minimum force on us members of the opposition. I think that is unacceptable and it should never be allowed in a country like ours. The police brutality on us citizens must be condemned by all well-meaning citizens because human rights are being infringed upon. That is why the statement by the Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Jack Mwimbo, is very unfortunate. He should never have said that. Honorable Mwimbo must be seen to protect the interests of both the ruling and the opposition because he's not a minister only for the UPN. He is a minister for all of us in this country. And therefore, it is incumbent upon him to make statements that will be all-encompassing. We will not be intimidated as members of the opposition, regardless of what they say. We are going to continue offering checks and balances that are going to put this government on its tentacles so they can do that which they should do. And we have got a job to do to ensure that this country moves in the manner it should move, as opposed to what we are seeing, where they want us to, all of us, to be seeing their presence. It will not happen, not from the CF. We will do that which is right. Thank you so much.
All right, that's you know, the leader of the opposition political party, Mr. Harry Kalaba, alleging that you know, the political parties you know, are actually victimized and you know, brutalized by the police and so on and so forth. And right on set, we've been joined by, CJ Chiponta Jule. CJ, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. Good evening, Himba, Womkirebai. Good evening, viewers. Apologies, I'll be switching on my camera shortly. Thank you.
All right,
Good
let's
evening,
get to
CJ.
with the lady. What's your reaction, Himba, towards this particular story?
Okay, thank you so much, Chaza. Before I go any further, allow me to render my apology to our viewers that today I'm unable to be on camera because of where I am. It's a public place, and apparently I'm not supposed to let other people to be seen on social media. It's against the law, so probably that's why you are seeing my camera off. But however, we are together. Chaza, it's sometimes I feel I get a little bit disappointed when I hear our leaders who are former government leaders speaking like they've never been in government and they've never held any senior position in government. The way they come out sometimes they send out a wrong message there. Yes, I agree. There are some times when the police they overdo what they're supposed to do, and sometimes the police officers they even behave like they don't know what they're supposed to do. Because some police officers they are drunk. They go to work, they are drunk. Some they talk as if they never even went through any training in the police force. But we still have people who are able to provide good services in the police force. But now my reaction to Vakalava, where he says minimum force, anywhere in the world the police are allowed to use minimum force. And if you are cooperating with the police, they won't use minimum force on you. If the police officer come to pick you at your place, you've got they've got they want to arrest you. They come back, send up winnow. They ask you are cooperating. Will they even use any minimum force? They will use minimum force if you are not cooperating. And again, they will even use minimum force. But there are people who are like Vakabwalala, who are very, dangerous to handle. So there they use minimum force. Sometimes even the person they are arresting can be aggressive. So because you are a man in uniform or a woman in uniform, and because I'm a police officer. So it's so shocking to hear these so-called inverted commas our opposition leaders, because it's like in our country, being an opposition leader, you just have to criticize even what you understand. You have to pretend like you don't understand. Even what you know, you have to pretend like you don't know. Because Honorable Kalaba has been in power before. And when he was he's been in government. And when he was in government, what was the PF doing? There's no day I heard Honorable Kalaba coming out speaking like that what the PF are doing, it's wrong. Well, he was in the PF government. But now when he's outside the ring, that's when he wants to point a finger to Yabalechta. And they're even using this manipulative language where they're saying you shouldn't be doing the same things the previous government. At do as I say, not as I do. So for me, I believe my opposition leaders, we are not going to think very low like them. We are not going to reduce ourselves to their level where they want to be manipulating our minds. We know that in the police force, it's allowed to use minimum force. But in police is just like another profession. Even Mukaenda Kulima accountants. The accountants who are profession, they do their job profession. They follow the rules, the policies of that profession. But even the journalists, there are journalists who are good and they do their job diligently. But again, there are those who are not good. So mozi. So bakalaba basazichinja lero. And again, aba bakapokola balimu. Ni bakapokola be banasiya bakalaba. How I wish when he was in government, he could speak like that. And they're also creating a narrative like these police officers are only created for the opposition. That's the narrative they are pushing. We are not going to tolerate to such kind of narrative they are trying to push. Bakapokola basiyeni basebenze nchito kuli bakapokola be basebenza nchito buno buno kuli nabesi basebenza nchito buno buno. So let's leave the police officers do their job. Besi basebenza buno, their superiors will know what to do with them. Not even ma politicians. I submit, Chas.
Thank you so much, Himba. We do appreciate, that opinion. Let's get to, Womkelebai. What's your take as regards, this story?
Thank you so much. We know as a country that is affiliated to the United Nations and affiliated that actually support human rights, we are indeed supposed to be observant when the human rights are violated. We can actually take appropriate action. We know today that the opposition, they will try to smear a lot of accusations to the ruling party or the government in power, or to smear falsehoods against the institutions that are busy trying to carry out their normal duties. Mr. Kalava knows very well, like Himba put it, that he was in government, he was the PF. He is actually PF, he just was a little bit maybe sidelined. That's why he felt inferior, and then he decided to leave. According to him, he claimed that he left because of the corruption that was in the PF. We understand and we appreciate that movement, but when he comes here and try to just open up the mouth and accuse the government or accuse the police of police brutality when there is no such cases recorded elsewhere, then that becomes an issue, because he is actually spreading falsehood. If there are certain individuals that are coming claiming that they are brutalized by the police, they need to take appropriate action. We cannot stop the police from doing their duties. If the police act ultra-viriously, there are laws and rules that govern those areas. So the police, the victim have the right to go ahead and institute proceedings or legal proceedings or administrative action can be instituted, if at all there are such situations, than coming onto the podium, the media, and claim that there is police brutality. Police brutality, if it's there, fine. Report the matter. Don't come to the media and start pointing fingers at the whole. You generalize that it's the police and the government. Jackie Mwimbu, or the Minister of Home Affairs, is giving false statements. That's really to me, it's childish. The best thing he ought to have done was to make follow-ups with such a case and point out the specific cases, not to generalize, because from what we know is that the police are doing their duties according to the law, and if they abrogate the laws, then individuals that are affected. We saw there was an issue of Mwamba who was beaten, who purported to have been brutalized by the police. And there was also the other gentleman, the Indian guy, the Indian Zambian guy, who was also purported to have been brutalized by the police. Well, they, in their own individual capacity, have the right to institute legal proceedings against the police if they have a case. But if they don't have the case, they don't have to take it to the media and claim that the police are brutal, have been brutalizing people. The only thing that police need is your cooperation. And the reason why police are coming for you, the opposition, it's because that you were once in authority and you abused your powers, and now you want to show off your powers. Well, you are out of power. Unfortunately, the tables have turned. You no longer hold the stick of instructions. You cannot command the police to what to do. You cannot tell them how to perform their duties. So just follow the law, respect the law. They will never brutalize you. But if you want to stand and argue, even pointing finger or insulting the police, they are human beings too. They will lose it. We saw what happened with Kampiongo and the other gentleman, Paliva Lungu Paget Palia. You saw what happened. There was altercations. The former minister was trying to bully that police officer who also put his foot down to say, I'm not talking to you. Such kind of behavior can precipitate into violence, or the police will get hurt and then they apprehend you. They are not going to apprehend you with baby gloves. They will use manpower, and to them it will be minimum force. But because balina chifukushi munzelu waganiza wachita minimum force, kansi beve they are applying more force because chababa. So you have to take good care. You be careful yourselves. You know, don't invite trouble to yourself. Just be careful. If they act outrageously, please take up the matter in your individual capacity to court and stop showering the nation with falsehood. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bom Kelebai. We do appreciate. And right on set, we've been joined by, Pesi. Pesi, good evening and welcome to the program. And please do give us your reaction.
Good evening. And for me, I'll look at it on 2 points. Okay. I'll first look at it in terms of the force they are talking about. Okay, let's be realistic. If the police tells you, my friend, tikufuna kubwere ku police station pakabwata, then you wabawafipanga ine ngazibwera uko nzankara batuma foot iyo washanje manje wakakupeza ufuna wakupempe foot. There's no time for that. Let's just be realistic. If the police calls you, you just go. Then you won't look foolish when they start pulling you by the trousers. And on the other side of the coin now, if they are arresting somebody in an immediate and in a phone in Ikopa, I don't think the police have the right to come to me and tell me not to video that. Because if they do that, then to me, they are telling me that there's something illegal they are doing. Because if I'm arresting somebody legally with minimum force as described, I wouldn't be ashamed if somebody is videoing. You understand? That's why I said I'll answer this question on 2 parts. The reason I've said that, it's because if you remember the ambassador, he was claiming that he was thrown and all that, and the people who were videoing where their phones were grabbed. For me, I don't understand why the police were grabbing the phones. Then to me, the way they were arresting him, there was something illegal.
But,
so for me, if the police are arresting somebody, I've got a video. Because you can see if the police are arresting me and I'm doing that, yes. There's a video I saw. There's a guy, he was being arrested by the police. And this police left the people were videoing. And that guy started hitting his head on the gravel. And the police were busy saying, hey, I watched that video. That's what I'm talking about. You get my point? Because that will also cover the police themselves. If somebody claims you were grabbing somebody or you were punching me, and if there's video evidence, you say, we were arresting you, you were refusing, so we had to grab you like this in order for you to take you. It's simple and straightforward. That's how I look at it. So I don't know how the other people on the panel think of it. I'll leave it there.
Chaza, can I just come in a little bit?
Thank you so much, Pesi. We do appreciate. And Himba, yes, you can come in and react to that.
Yeah, you know, the way Percy has said it, the way he has put it, it works like, especially the last point, it works double. It can also work as he has put it, which is correct. It can work in the best interest of the police because there'll be evidence, even if that person claims something. But again, if the same person decides to use it for human rights, which are being claimed now, that I was being videoed when it was against my wish, again, the same person can still sue again the police officers. But these are issues that are complicated that needs to be debated on. That's why lokumakoti mumaona abantu bamazivimba, but you can't get wala kwa kale, you can't fight for your rights. But before you put somebody on camera or anything, you need to get permission, you know. So sometimes it's done in the best interest of the person who is being arrested, and it's also good. It may protect both parties because there'll be evidence. That's why in other countries, ma uniform yaba kapokola na camera in front, but those videos are not just released anyhow. They are released when necessary. Even some of the jobs, they tell you that this information can be given to other organization if need arises. So you give a consent. Yes, they can give my details and the like, but it can be used both sides. But it's good evidence because there's a video there. Thank you.
Right, Himba, thank you so much. And I think we've exhausted in terms of reactions, you know, as regards this story. Quickly, let me just invite, you know, the smiling man probably wants to add up, you know, his reaction to this. CJ.
Thank you very much, Chaza. Okay, I'll say basically the things that are being talked about hinge on human rights, and there have been a number of concerns that were raised. There's a report that was done. Then the other day I was listening to the spokesperson for the Human Rights Commission, and he mentioned that there are a number of concerns that they have in terms of the same human rights abuses that are going on in these prisons, and in the way that some police officers are executing their duties. And he mentioned that they've been going around carrying out a number of sensitization and interacting so that they try to bridge some of the gaps and concerns that are there. For me, I have a concern where when it's a political figure who has found themselves in such a situation, it now becomes something now. That's when people want to jump in and say, oh, this, oh, that. What about Mundamine Alibe? He just status. Okay? So I would say, like Himba said, there have been some concerns, there have been some abuses that have been going on, but coming in directly to the clip that was played by Honorable the Citizens First President Kalaba, I think what the Home Affairs Minister said is just what he's supposed to say. I remember Honorable Kampyongo used to say the same thing, okay? It's the same language, it's the same thing, okay? So for me, I find there's nothing wrong with what Honorable Jack Mwimbu said, because police are supposed to use me. That is within their mandate. Ngati muntu avuta, they are supposed to use minimum force to make sure that that person cooperates and they deal with him according to what they're supposed to do. Ngata avuta, the minimum force comes in. Then, this thing whereby they are just grouping it to say opposition is like police are now attacking opposition, and they're like, it's not a correct narrative that they are pushing, because it's not everyone who's in opposition. okay? But there are people who have, let me say that there are, whether it's cases pending or that are pending, or there are certain, they have things to answer for, okay? These are the ones that we are seeing the police following because of what they need to answer to. It's not everyone.
Actually,
There's,
my political figures, Bamafa nokufa myself, they are even being handled badly than the political figures. Bamafa nokufa myself than political figures.
So to summarize my contribution on this one, where there are human rights abuses, let everyone speak out loudly despite position ya muntu, because there are human rights issues involved. We shouldn't only just focus just because a popular person or a political figure has been found in that situation. And then government officers or officers are supposed to express or tell the people what they're supposed to do or what they do. So where a pronouncement is given that minimum force will be used, people are supposed to know so that they behave themselves. We cannot expect Wakapokola kufika more gwada when they are apprehending someone. That is not correct. They need to reach there with confidence, okay? And the honor that uniform carries, the respect that uniform carries, okay? And then citizens have to know that if they are doing wrong things, the law is going to follow them, because wrong things the police are there even to help deter wrongdoing. So ngatwazambo staving to yeah, more papatira tizamba kubaderera kubatukana and all that.
Ati nikukamba tipempa timigwireko. Tipempa timigwireko. Tingamima ngeni ma handcuffs.
Let us allow the police do their work. We respect them. Where they do wrong things, let us take it up. We can raise complaints with the police. Is it police complaints commission? Yes, and other channels. Let me end there. Thank you. Chaza, I think I'm done.
Thank you so much, CJ. We do appreciate, and we have divergent views and reactions as regards, different stories that we have. And, as I quote, Kalaba said, minimum force should not be used by us on us politicians. I really, don't know what he meant. If he prefers maximum, force to be used on politicians, I don't know, because minimum force is actually used on everyone, and that is what is permissible. So I really don't know if he meant what he said in that.
Maximum. That involves minimum, bullets.
That's what happened. That's what happened when
let's proceed.
That's what happens when you lie. When you your main mission is to propagate lies to the nation. You forget that you are busy entangling yourself with the words. He claimed that politicians should not be used, which police, when they arrest politicians, especially the opposition, should not use minimum force. So you are right. What did he mean by that? Should the police use maximum? Anyway, let's move on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukelawa. We do appreciate it. Let's get to the next story and see you on the other side.
Okay, thank you very much for coming, members of the press. The briefing is ready and will be read soon. The moderator for the program is Mr. Ban. Thank you.
Good morning, members of the press. We welcome you to the residence of the former presidents. We want to say thank you for turning up in large numbers, even at short notice. Zambia is a Christian nation. Will you allow us to maybe share in a word of prayer? We can pray before we start. Thank you. Shall we pray? Father God, we thank you this morning for allowing us to share in this your new day, oh God, the 4th of July 2023. Thank you, Lord, for allowing the former First Family's children to have and share a press statement with the press. We want to thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. For Lord, it's a rare opportunity. We only pray, our Lord, those who came will come safely and go back safely as they came. It's in Jesus' name we pray, we ask with a grateful heart. Amen. Amen. Thank you. The reason for this gathering is because the former First Family has been going through some challenging times for some time now, especially in the recent past. So for this reason, all the children of the former president would like to speak to this matter and share their feelings. Media, you will forgive us, due to the nature of the subject matter at hand, the family will just read the statement without taking questions from the media. We apologize sincerely for that position, but please understand us and agree with us that we accept this position. I'll take this opportunity to introduce the children represented here. On my far right there is Mrs. Agnes El Msimuko, and the spouse is Mr. Msimuko, who's seated right here next to me. The couple next there is the Katetes. We have Jasper Katete and the wife Cheso Lungu Katete. We have Patrick Mwansa there with the wife in Honorable Tasila Lungu Mwansa. We have Mr. Willie Lungu. Unfortunately, the wife is not here with us. Standing next to me is my spouse, Madam Janet Lungu Banda. Geoffrey Banda, the moderator this morning. Once again, want to say thank you for turning up at such short notice. As stated earlier on, please allow us to just share our statement. And without much ado, let me just call upon Honorable Tasila Lungu Mwansa, who is going to represent the children of the former president in sharing this statement. May we make welcome Madam Tasila. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my dear brother. Good morning, everyone. In the past year and a half has proven to be hard times for our family. Our lives have revolved around family and constantly being invited to law enforcement agencies. We have endeavored to lead a quiet life after our father left office in August of 2021. We must hasten to say that we are not objectionable to the law enforcement agencies making inquiries into any matter, that we have constantly and consistently complied with the law enforcement agencies. Despite our compliance, it seems to us that it has become fashionable to demonize the Lungu family based on the unfounded allegations. The state has not made it any easier for us, as they seem to play to the gallery in matters that relate to our family. Ordinarily, we expect to be the first ones to know as it relates to the matters involving any members of our family. However, we have learned of the recent lawsuits through news items published in tabloids and various social media platforms. We proceeded to engage our lawyers and to obtain necessary documents. from the state, which attempts have met with difficulties. We have finally obtained the necessary documents and will proceed to respond appropriately. Our appeal to all of you is to allow us to defend ourselves in court. The dramatization of our circumstances by the state in the daily tabloids has only worked to demonize our father, who has diligently worked to serve this country and willingly handed over power to the incumbent. We have spent considerable time with our father and our mother, who in all these difficult times have opted to remain silent. Our father's resolve is to allow the law to take its course, and we agree with his position. Whereas some of you may call our father different names, he remains a caring father to us and a loving husband to our mother. We wish to thank you all who have reached out to us and sympathized with us. Your encouragement has kept us going. In conclusion, our request is that we may not be tried in the media, but that we may be given justice in the courts. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. May God bless you.
Thank you once more, the media, for turning up as stated earlier on. We want to say thank you for turning up in numbers. And as our position was, we
an emotional, moment there for the former Face family. And I could see, the husband to, Tasila being romantic there. And it's a definition of, come what may, through thick and thin, he was actually there for the wife. So interesting indeed. Your reaction to this story. Let me start with you, Bomkelewai.
That he was being romantic. Chaza kumera muza kwarira ati. You see, the thing
there consoling the wife.
Yeah, but that's not being romantic.
And extending.
Yeah, when I'm misozi mama iwaja. Anyway. But this she was talking about the dramatization of their case by the government, and she was talking of do not be judged, but people should not judge them in the public domain, but wait until they go to court. But the question is, who is bringing these issues into the media? It's not the people, the public, no. Not even the government, no. Let's start with the specific one case. When the police went to get the vehicle or wanted to go inside with a search warrant to collect those vehicles, we know now that police were after, they were following a report to go and retrieve items that were taken by force after the complaint was lodged at the police. Who took that matter to the media? Who was publishing that case, that incident to the media? Who dramatized? Sorry?
Who was cooking by the roadside?
Who dramatized the whole thing? Because that thing should have been, had it been the police could have gone there quietly, could have entered quietly and collected the property quietly without social media going. We could have just heard after what the police have done. But no, the people who are busy dramatizing the whole situation, it's the same family and the political party they are affiliated to. Because these are the people who are going on social media, climbing on top of the mountain and cry the loudest, claiming that Mutule, meanwhile, there was a probable cause for the police to have gone there. They had the reason to why. And the police, during executing of their duties, they are not announcing. They only communicate to the people involved. Either they issue a call out or they go there without notification, because the police are obligated to do so. A police call out is not a court order. So Tasila Lungu, for her to say the government is dramatizing the whole case and the media, they are being judged in, she's not been sincere to the nation. If I were her, I would have just kept quiet until the whole cases, the whole cases and all allegations leveled against their family is quiet. Because right now, there has been a lot of reports, and which reports are legal and which reports are legit. They're coming from from good sources, the government sources, for example. When they arrested Kondwa, what's his name? Daliso, and talked about 69 vehicles. Now we hear it's 200 vehicles. All that information, some of us, we live in the diaspora. We have no clue what was going on. And how did we get to know that? It's the government through the information. We get to know through the same media, the same political, the same opposition, who are the ones that are busy going around telling people. So for her to say the cases are being they are being persecuted, or rather they are being judged in the media, that's not correct. People saw what they suffered. People know how they suffered during the reign of the father. So that press briefing or press conference they made as the Lungu family, I think they should simply retract that statement, those statements they issued, and go back in hibernation and wait until such a time when the whole issue is dead, or when the father, when her father's immunity is being removed, so that he could go to court and answer for himself, because the government has not interfered with them. The government has just simply told them, we are coming for these cases and we are taking you to court. And that's exactly what the government has done. They are taking matters to court. They are going before the court. Others in the same family, they have chosen to resolve this matter ex securia, meaning outside court settlement, by surrendering certain properties that they acquired through dubious means. So they are refusing. They don't want to be taken to court. So all this is in the public domain. So they should not come here and cry victims when we know how much they were worth before they came into office and how much they are now worth after coming out of office. So please do not insult the intelligence of the Zambian people. You are not being persecuted. You are actually being questioned how you amass your wealth that we, when the nation, the whole entire nation was struggling financially or was in debt. So basically that's what I can say for me. I feel like that cry was just, they were just being political. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom Kelebai. It looks like Chaza is struggling with the internet. Vapesi, over to you. What is your reaction?
Okay. You know, even where to start, it's a bit tricky. Because it's like now we are walking on eggshells. The reason I'm saying this is because, you know, when PF was in opposition, let's just rewind a bit. Maybe we'll remember a few things. Yeah. When PF was in opposition, you guys were in Zambia. CJ, maybe you correct me. Did the the former president send the paramilitary to Mr. Sata's house and the tear gas? That's just a question before I continue. CJ, I think you can help because in the background.
We didn't hear about it. Maybe it was not reported.
Okay. Manje. Munamuona gari Nkombo. Yamuchinda tear gas. Atoka na misoni. Mukumbuka. I've got those videos. Munamuona gari Nkombo. Munamuona ko Tasila abwera pa press conference that no, Dad, you're not supposed to hammer your opposition. No. Kwezeri. Lishwa. Even the first lady, you remember, there are some videos saying, he said, Mubanka, batimba, watu wakaboi, watu, wanatimbiwa. Munamuona kwenzeko, anabwela ku press conference, wabeno utatasiri. Kukamba kwa dadi, hizo iya. Iyo. Manje, tibweleko, ingari ya mashitechi. Wamene wanapaya uja wene nsama vanabwera oloko venzezi no press conference. Now pamene vamene former president kaiti vapaseko ulemu pamene venzi vakaiponkana vapresident vakali mu opposition venze nazingati mchikwama chavo venze nazingati apa yes veve sitinga vagwire kai malamulo yatu ya Mzambia tosagwira president akoma president vana immunity okay vasagwira zamiso zene vanapa manje vamene venze kuforesha vana vavo zvichazeve tisifuna venze kanikareko kubwiro zvichazeve tisifuna vizaka wamene Tasila nakuta brother wake a young man under 40 atana motoka angati ezaka bati angati chitete mkelewai and how many cars that 200 then ipelera pa 60 200 is the breaking news quite okay nzampakira kote pa 60 when because his father wasn't in business for him to amass that amount of money for him to even order those cars to come with. Rumor has it that when PF was in power, he was the main supplier of vehicles to the government.
Oh.
So that's a monopoly. Yeah. Because right now, actually, I'm not UPND. I have to praise them on one thing. A minister, that's right. Now, if you look at the list of the people who were arrested, I think the police post was arrested. Because if you see Constable Chani, Superintendent, ni post he was gone. UPND, Machea Chani, Youth Chani, was gone. Sujirai. And then vapanga press conference na mamoto kamene vanaibali kumbuyo vana kudzambira chifundo ina kulipe mpaka vapweze ena nzarekera pamene apa kosi yeve is a talk time. I'll leave it there to leave it for some other people.
Chaza, over to you, dear. Are you there? Okay, thank you so much, Wapesi. And it looks like you really had a lot of talk time, but time is not on our side. CJ, what is your reaction to this story?
Okay, so for me, I'll take it this way.
Chaza, we can't hear you. You are muted. Chaza is talking, I think.
Chaza, you're muted. Probably
CJ,
network issues.
over to you.
Okay, so okay, so the major things that Tasila was bringing out is the first one, that they should not be tried in court of public opinion, that is social media and whatever. Let them be tried in the courts of law. Okay, probably that comes from the case that was, or let me say, that is before the courts, where they only got wind of it through social media or through the press, and nothing was saved to them. Okay, and from that standpoint, I think even their lawyer had written to ACC over the same. They had put something in on social media to that effect. Okay, so okay, for me, I would agree with one thing: let them go to court so that the court proves whether they are innocent or guilty. Okay, as it stands, yes, there's a public perception that they've acquired wealth, and people are suspicious with the way that wealth have been acquired, and the Zambian people are interested in knowing whether it is legitimate or not. Now, there was a statement that was issued from Ministry of is it Information? Yes, where they were saying it is not government that is demonizing or anything. If you look at SCC or these enforcement wings, they never issued a public statement, or they never issued any statement to say where there's this case that we are pushing in the courts and whatever. It is the public, or it's the private media that brought out that information, and they were saying they do not have control on private media, on how media houses bring out the information. Media houses go to the courts and they pay whatever fees and get this document, and that's how they bring out that information. So in terms of the government and its agencies, they were following the procedure. It hadn't reached the time for them to, officially give them those documents, hand them whatever they were pushing through the courts of law. But for them, they quickly came to the media and gave out a statement where they said they shouldn't be tried in the public. Yes, they shouldn't. Let these issues be taken to court, because we all want to know, and we are curious whether those properties were obtained properly or otherwise. Yes, there are a lot of other issues that come in to say, no, their father was the president. Each time he goes out there, there are these gifts that they receive and so on. I don't know what the law says in terms of declaring some of those gifts and the like. But
what is wrong with saying he give Tana pass and each other?
Yeah.
Why aren't I feeling
Yeah. Anyway, that would be another debate on what the provisions of the law are. There have been these debates about lifestyle audits, okay, where public people should be subject to lifestyle audits. Those things, I would say, they are very good, and they'll clear some of these things, and they'll also be a deterrent, because if people are able to know this person penangena office ali worth 20 pin, okay, you are able to gauge and check everything out nicely. By the end of 5 years or 10, 20 years, if what they were working for ties with everything. And in one way, that's what DEC and these law enforcement agencies are trying to do. Yes, please.
But kansela at least vakachita calculate ningaone ngati ndalama zanozosenza kuti awa makansela zikwana like the way you are saying. I just like to add that one.
When the kubapasako my gift each time the father goes out, he would say, ukubanipasa achani gwirako apa. So
when pasa family yons atenga gift tempasa konya daliso, tempasa konya tasira na yaba madamu yi. Ndemwenzo nkagira.
President sizingono ndalama zeminemenzo pasiwa as appreciation as so in short, I would say it is very good, and let them push that these cases go through the courts so that at the end of it all, there will be a judgment that will either exonerate them or prove the cases that the law enforcement agencies are pushing. Because until that is done, this perception, it will keep on going, it will be doing rounds on social media, and even their participation with the way they are trying to push some of these the narratives they are trying to, it doesn't help. Because from that press briefing, the comments that were coming at crocodile tears, so instead of helping make the situation better, it's like they were just gaslighting everyone. And then from perspective, let me say for media people, I think what they did to call a press briefing and then no questions, that wasn't correct. When reporters go for a press briefing, they go somewhere. They've got questions. They expect kuchibazafuns and bazankio. And then for them to just say, don't be any questions. Yasira statement, you can have snacks and whatever. Umonga maybe Bwirakudia or something like that. They would have just done, whether it's a press release, okay, put it on social media and viral, even to viral, than to call for people when they are not allowed to ask questions. I think on that one, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, CJ. I hope I am back in, because previously I was seeing myself, but you were not probably seeing me or hearing me. I haven't heard Himba's reaction. I don't know, maybe while I was outside. Himba, you've made your reaction known already.
No, not yet, Chaza. Thank you so much for this
Himba,
opportunity.
are you there?
Yes, I am.
Please, I invite you to actually react to this story.
Thank you so much, Chaza.
Please go ahead.
Sinzakamba kambili, because I think my colleagues, they've reminded us. Percy has reminded us where we expected Ijamiso's kuchoka, Percy nachoke. And I would also want to add on, like when President HH was in prison, when the first lady parents osakila kwenda okutiba onekuli bamuna bawo, but Asila ni wamai, she's also a lady. When the first lady was denied to see her husband, it would have been also nice for Tasila to come out and speak like that on behalf of the fellow lady. Anyway, that's another story. My contribution this evening, in Enipe Mpache, Honorable Tasila came out and said, Musati, don't try us on social media, Muma media, don't try us on those medias. But unfortunately, it's the same system they used. I don't know why the Lungu family can use these facilities and ask the Zambian people, we are not allowed to use them towards them. I don't understand. They use the social media, they use the media to communicate parents or Lila. But if we use the same media to communicate at TI, don't do it. Anyway, maybe there are things which they are privileged, which as the Zambian people we are not privileged. But Kupemba Kwanga, Tasila Lungu, she's a lawmaker. Amaenda ku parliament, and since she's saying that Mukatia Sele ku court, she knows for you that the father can't be tried in court at the moment. So I'm appealing to her to, when she goes to parliament, let her push the motion. Yo vachos ama immune patate wake. she's got the key to this whole issue. So if she goes to parliament and push that motion, immunity, and then he should be tried in court. Because at this moment, even if she's saying, let us be tried in court, she knows that the father can't be dragged to court according to the Zambian constitution. So it's like she's mocking us, you know. So Tipe Mpatasila, since you are a lawmaker, please, please, please do us a favor, the Zambian people, and we are going to support you. We are going to stand behind you. Please push this motion for us. Could your father, the immunity should be lifted so that he's tried in court and he proves himself innocent and no one will follow him. But then, Tasila, be honest. Atwatate mzaziwa itana mazina. Father should not be called names. He was the public figure. He is the public figure. He was the president of Zambia. How many president wanachoka kumbuyo once bali bezina? I remember the other program I was mentioning. Basata wenzewa King Cobra. He was called King Cobra. Mwanawasa, he was called what? Well, they all had names, but Vikabuya Kulive Nelungu, no, this should not happen. These are public figures, and Mbabatila, so there are petty things they are bringing. Yes, we appreciate. She's saying, no, he's a loving father, he's a loving grandmother, he's a loving whatever. Olokawala alacheka wala la armed robber. Kuwana bake, he's a great father, he's a loving father. So basically, there are things they are bringing in public which are not supposed to hear. And they are not the first family to rule Zambia. We've got 7 families that ruled Zambia. So Tasila, help us go and push the immunity, go and push the motion after lift immunity so that in the court vale case. Because as it is now, even if you come in public, you say, take us to court. You know that if the investigations leads to your father, it's a dead end. We are stuck. So help us, my dear sister. And if anything, Chachiti Kamzambia, the way you came out as a Lungu family, Mukazi Choka. And just to remind you, the Lungu family, your father did not do us a favor by handing over power to the Zambian people. That is his constitution responsibility as the former president. Mukaluza mupa sabawi ina power. Tasila is a lawyer. Me, I'm just a simple Zambian. Yeah, vendia funikotipunzi side. So as it mislead that my father gave willing. Zambia is not a monarchy where you hand over power to your children. No, your father lost power, Tasila. So wanaluza, mukaluza power. One of his responsibilities to hand over power kuliva wina. Percy want to react. Thank you.
I just wanted to correct you, my sister. He didn't hand over power. He was forced by the late president, Banda. He had to hold meetings. His own party never wanted him to relinquish power. Let's not hit by the bush. He never wanted to relinquish power.
That's why Ibaona Fulu ni personal to hold the power.
Yeah, Percy, you can go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add that because my colleague was kind of massaging a bit myself. I just wanted to be honest the way I feel and what I know. Because if you remember very well, how many meetings did RB host to convince to convince Lungu to step down that you've lost?
Actually, if your father had refused to hand over the instrument of power, that would have been treason. Because that's the
right. Thank you so much, Percy. Thank you so much, Himba. Let's quickly get to take a look at the next.
A tenth of which UPND has borrowed in the first year, in fact, more than a tenth. Because for us, we were disciplined and consistent. And the Honorable Temba said, all the money that we borrowed was deployed to the actual projects that are very visible to be seen. This narrative that they keep painting that we misappropriated these funds, believe it or not, Zambians are beginning to open their eyes now. The works of the Patriotic Front, under the superintendence of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, will always be visible, will always be seen. And no amount of narrative creating is going to change that trajectory. Zambians can go to Kazungula and cross a bridge. They know where it is. Zambians can go to specialized hospitals in the whole country, including mini hospitals in the rural areas, and see exactly what work is being done. I've already explained before here that what we had introduced was an integrated national development plan, where we ensure that we're going to put a school, we're also going to put a hospital and a police station so that the communities can begin to grow in those areas. That's how intelligent and brave the PF was in implementing its policies. It now remains for the UPND to tell us, now that they've gotten into a debt restructuring program, how are they going to utilize the money they're going to free out of this debt restructuring? Already they're being dodgy. If you ask the question in the House, especially a question which is sensationalized, if a question comes from a UPND backbencher who says, can you now tell the nation what is going to happen to the money that is going to remain free? The answer will come, oh no, there still won't be money. So Zambians who are excited about debt restructuring, watch this space. We may still have a lot of economic problems to address. We may still have a lot of economic bridges to cross before you can begin to see a trickle down of the effect of this debt restructuring. I thought I should just make those mention of those statements. I thank you very much for giving me them.
Right. I presume I am back on set. I was thrown by connectivity. Himba, are you getting me? Okay, thank you so much. Let me invite, CJ to be the first one to react to this particular one.
Thank you very much, Chaza. Okay, so for me, I won't say much on that clip. He mentioned a number of things where he said the projects that the PF did are visible. They did a lot of infrastructure things here and there. I'll just speak on the last bit where he talks about the debt restructuring, okay? Where he's saying they are being dodgy, that is in Parliament, UPND and the like are being dodgy. I like the last part where he says it would take some time for the trickle-down effect to be seen about this restructuring. It's good that he's admitting, okay, that the restructuring has been done and it's going to have some trickle-down effect, okay? So now I think parliamentarians need to now educate people and say, okay, on this one, government has scored, but let us support them in ensuring that whatever grace period has been given to us, you expect to see A, B, C, D, unlike what has been happening whereby people want to push a narrative as if we're going to see things changing right now since this deal has been met. Meanwhile, there are a lot of other things. So for me, my take is that there's need for people to be educated, for people to be sensitized, okay, so that they know what to expect. Because definitely this restructuring period, if government handles it well, we are going to see good results. The economy is likely to peak. A number of things are likely to change, though it will not happen overnight, because governance, it's not a one-day thing. It's a process. And we need to support the government in order for them to implement. We need to continue giving proper checks and balances so that government doesn't go back, so that they don't start borrowing unnecessarily, so that again, we have a debt situation. So I think our political leaders need to be able to educate people and give them the right information, unlike just criticize everything. I think I'll end there.
Well, thank you so much, CJ. We do appreciate. Bom Kelewa, we haven't seen you on camera. I hope you are still with us. Are you right there? Please, I invite you to add your voice to this story.
in Lozi we say mangini mangini uwaira kwa mkunji wa hae, meaning I don't know how to put it in Sizungu. Should I say it WW should wako ni wako in short. The PF, they will always praise and thank themselves for the projects that they purport to have undertaken during their reign. The UPND will also do the same. The MMD will also do the same. That's why you hear them talking of, no, they were so intelligent, so smart, that they came up with such projects. And infrastructure, for example, you can see there's evidence. But if there's evidence, why are we in debt? Why are the current government busy patching or working on the roads? Why are the government today busy purchasing medicine in the hospitals that are lacking all those facilities? Why? It's barely 1 year out of office, 1 year, 8 months when PF left office. Do you mean to tell me that the infrastructure that these PF left, within a year they got damaged, that today this current government is busy struggling, trying to raise money, that the money that the PF left in the coffers got finished, and we have not seen the results yet? Why is this current government working so tirelessly, sleeplessly, on the projects that ought to have been done 10 years ago, 5 years ago? Within 1 year, 9 months into office, these guys have done a lot than what the PF did within the so-called smart, because they call themselves smart people. They came up with their smart projects. They came up with the smart way of dealing with things. They failed to even negotiate the debt or restructuring the debt. They failed to even invite the World Bank, the IMF, to come to their table so they could sit and talk about conditions on how to pay back, how to pay this debt, or to come and help us to unchoke the country, the economy. They so-called intelligent. They failed to convince the Zambian people in 2001 to vote for them. Whilst in government, whilst holding power, they lost the so-called intelligent. So when people talk things like that on national television, just because mwalishi wokulanda ekisungu, just because mwali kuvotera mu constituency yove, it does not mean that you are talking sense, or you're telling the Zambian people the truth. Ask yourselves, why are you in the opposition suddenly? If you were too that smart, why are you in the opposition today? And you were crying the loudest. So by MP, what's his name again? I forgot his name. That MP should simply thank the current government for having erased some of their liabilities that they have been saved. This current government has saved those guys' shadows. Even their legacy today, I don't think Lungu's government's legacy will stand the test of time in Zambia. Maybe by now, as we speak, his legacy has already been erased by the mistakes, mismanagement, and carelessness of the way he was running the country, the way he managed the country, and especially the debt that we accumulated so devastatingly, so sadly, that we failed to even service the very debt.
It can't be easily erased because tukali kuganiza kuti vanatigasinga ni vandani tifuna kuziva. Ajabenzo lasi vanasala vanaferewa mu families. They will still remember that we lost our dad, our sister during the PF regime.
So it will be, yes, my dear, I agree with you. It will be difficult, my brother MP, honorable MPs, the opposition, but PF, it will be difficult for the Zambian people to forget you and to forgive you. Maybe we may forgive, but we will never forget from what we the Zambian people went through and how we even managed to top you out of power. Whilst you had instrument of power. We managed, the whole country came and spoke one voice, said no to mismanagement. Look at today what is currently happening. Look at the houses that you guys have built, the mansions. You're even buying planes in a country, in a poor country. You are buying helicopters in a poor country. You go to beg for money. You go with a very expensive jet to go and beg the Westerners to give us money to come and resolve our economy. Honestly. And you call yourself smart. Please spare us. Allow this current government to work and thank this current government for having shown you the way that this is how it is ought to be done. We shall praise this current government for as long as they are doing the right thing. And if they too decide to fall into the same ditches, you will see we will be the first to come here and demonize them and tell them off. So let me end here. Thank you. Chaza, are you there?
Hi, CJ, can you hear me?
Yes, I concluded. I think that MP just wanted to poke or pushing us because these guys, I know that what they're doing, they're trying to poke people. And sometimes if we fall to their gallery, then we may be, injured and start insulting or say bad things. But we can simply say we are able to see there is evidence. We have enough prima facie evidence to show that the previous government really mismanaged the government resources, the Zambian people's money, and we can never trust such people again. And we should never bring all these guys back to power or near authority, or else they may just destroy everything. They had no Zambia at heart. They were definitely there to please their ego and themselves, their selfish needs. So we should not allow such people. Even though we allow them to air their views like that, it's just that we have the democratic principles, the democratic dispensation in our country, where they can exercise their right, freedom of expression. It's okay. We understand. They can say what they want, but the truth will always carry the day. And right now, the current government is walking the talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Womukelewai. We do appreciate. CJ, are you right there? Yeah, I really need to confirm because, on my side, connectivity has really been a challenge today. Otherwise, I may be talking to myself. Let me invite, Chama Pesi. Do come through and give us your opinion as regards, this story.
Well, that one I don't have much to say. But all I'll say is, yes, when they reach that deal, you have to remember that the reason they failed to pay in the beginning is because they couldn't manage. So it doesn't mean just because they've done debt restructuring it means that people will still remain with some money to do certain things. Let's be realistic. If there was money, everything would be easy. So at the moment, the way I look at it is, at least we might manage to pay a little bit and see the way we are going to go. Because the way I look at it is, PF borrowed more. It's like in your house. Let me give you the simplest, because we are all laymen here. There's no economy. We are all laymen here. In your house, you can't go and borrow above your salary. Basically, the PF will borrow above the output of Zambia. What we could sell and make our dollars, we went and borrowed more than we could have ourselves. So small. You are born more for like a 3 pin. One day I think a 6 pin at Zaku per month. Unless wakumbere go chukula okay, ukazipirako ka 1 pin every month utakoka 6 pin. Ndiye pa ile hili story manja. Maziwa. Okay, mani nione. Ina gani ni layman. Sindi economist. Mani nione. So at the moment, the only thing I would advise the UPND is when they borrow, they have to look at our GDP. Don't borrow above our GDP. Once we start doing that, then we are just kidding ourselves. We are going back to the PF. And when we borrow as well, that money we borrow, it has to be for investment, not for Kamulia work. Much to borrow, ka 10 pini, pale ka 10 pini hapo, wandani watengako kaso, then ka 1 pin, ndika vile machitira, pale machitira borrow. That's the big also don't want. Because that was the game in the last regime. They would borrow nicely, a big chunk. Now, when you ask them, how much have you used from that big chunk you borrowed? It will be less than a quarter of the amount they borrowed. The rest has gone in their pocket. The best example, look at the Kenneth Kaunda Airport. The first plan was bigger than the airport we have there. Why did they reduce at Nderama Zasira? So
Zasira ndo wakalipo Manga Stadium, wakalipo Manga Airport, nanga zinaenda koti.
Lema nazi wanavama GDP.
No, it's things like that. When you think of things like that, you know, that was the downfall of PF. Honestly speaking, yes, they had good ideas. Okay, they were not their ideas. It was the previous governments which planned, oh, we should do this. Yes, them when they came into power, they tried to do them. But the problem is the money they were borrowing, not all the money was going to the investing of the things they were borrowing for. Only less than a quarter of the money which was borrowed was used the intended target. The rest, they are all rich. Because even one of them was even doing shopping for 2 million kwacha.
Perfume.
And he's got a better house than I charge
the famous bridge that they want to claim that it is them who built it because it was the money from the no, they should not. That's Mwanawasa's project.
All right, Percy, I think I'll cut you short. Bomkelebai, I think I quickly. Bomkelebai.
Yes, please. No, I was saying that. Yeah, can you hear me?
We need to give CJ and Himba at least a minute or two as we get to conclude. Let me start with you, CJ. We started with a lady and we are concluding with a lady because they are victors tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Chaza.
Yes, we can, but I'm inviting CJ to give us his viewpoint. Then we'll conclude with Himba.
Thank you, Chaza. Yeah, though I had added something. What I would just add this one?
Was the first one to even
Yes.
say something over this.
I think
Shaza.
he's having connectivity issues.
Is that so? I've been booted out several times, and
Well,
I have
it's
even
better
lost
Himba.
track. You know,
It's
if
better
CJ
Himba was
you were
to
here,
do.
I think
It's
I'm not
Himba.
giving you another chance. It looks like Bom Keleba he still wants to talk. Bom Keleba, a minute, please.
No. What I was saying is that I was just adding on to what Percy was saying over the things that they are trying to claim credit for. I said, actually, the Kazungula Bridge, look at the road itself that takes us to Kazungula Bridge. If at all it was rehabilitated or it was constructed, it's actually, that's a Sesheke Road. I'm telling you, it's Livingston Sesheke Road. It's pathetic. It's impossible. And they claim that they fixed that road. And the Kazungula Bridge, they should not get credit. We should actually thank our partnership with Botswana and Zimbabwe for coming in to beef up. If anything, they are the ones that paid more. Right now, we are paying them back. Ninkongole food. So Volungu and the people should not come here and start parading themselves and claiming that they are the ones that actually took that project. If we start that kind of competition or pointing at the success, they will come out with nothing because they've done so far nothing. Ask all the MPs from all their constituencies today in Parliament what challenges they are facing. You will hear that there are no roads. You know, there's no infrastructure. The people, especially from the northern part where the PF was the stronghold, there's nothing. No development, no nothing. Then the question is, where did they take the money? And where is this infrastructure that they keep on talking about to say they were the cleverest, they were clever and they were very smart enough, like the MP, the MP was busy trying to say there. So I find such statement to be
infrastructure.
Where? Show us.
Clinic eminenzo stop grade na tuma mini hospitals to
which clinic? Let someone go there right now.
That they've been putting around.
Where?
Na matama kiven mumayadi wanatufakira hiyo.
CJ
Speedham infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Shaza. You know,
Himba, I'm giving you the opportunity to be the last one to conclude because you know, it's a women's thing. We are still, you know, in the celebratory mood as regards women.
Thank you so much, Shaza, and I feel honored and humbled to be given this opportunity. Shaza, I'm going to look at this story from a different angle. You know, in a politician, vamanivesa mtima kubaba. You know, for somebody to come and start waffling here that tinamanga ichi, tinashita chani. In the first place, why were they ushered into power? That's the first question. I thought as Zambian people, we usher them into power to preside over such issues on behalf of the Zambian people. Secondly, do they use their pocket money? When we usher them into power, we give them the key to our national account. Tichitran can manage the account, then mutimukas tichitran preside our affairs. So I don't understand when people would come and say, we built this. And again, there's something that bothers me. So, in Zambia, Zambo Chitati, mwetenze lili na ba MMD. So vonse vikulu vinamanga ba MMD vonse venachita vaputa pwanya. Tabwata leta vaba PF. Futi vaba PF vakabwa futi tapwanya. Na wewe ba UPN. Is this the way they are trying to, is this the narrative they are trying to plant into our minds? Because my thinking is, these politicians, we usher them into office to continue where the other political part has ended. You know? Spare bachoka mupawa, sukambati bazakasi iza vonse. Bazakasi yako vinangu. Well, whether we like it or not, yes, the PF they did a lot of bad things to the Zambian people, but they also did some good things we can point fingers at, you know. And sometimes they did things in the goodwill, but it ended up backfiring against their plan. But we ushered them into office to do those, so they shouldn't come back to us, the Zambian people, notice that tinami buildingira, tinami chitachan. I think for me, I want to remind these politicians that you used our money. That's the reason why we put you into office. And pet now on a office tamicho town asimuchita veterans of expect we expected you to do. We voted you out. So stop coming to us and say, it's just the same uza mwana wako. Sembe sindinewe sembe sunabadiwe iwe. No. It's not a favor they are doing us, the Zambian people. We usher them into office to do these things for us. So stop coming to us to tell us tinamanga tinachitachani. Yes, munamanga ndiye chetina mivotelani kuti mutimangire ma hospital. We voted for you kuti mukema flyover bridge aimna ikaba PF. We voted for you kuti mu building evemna building. You know, so stop coming to us as if you did us a favor. Actually, you stole from us. We did you a favor because tinami kanisako na life ya bwino. Because if we didn't vote you into power, so there's no favor. Even the current government, they should know that they're not doing us a favor. It's our money. It's our coffer they are using. We're actually doing them a favor because they are driving Porsche cars. They are living in good houses. So they shouldn't be coming to us. It's our money. It's our copper. It's our minerals which they are using. But as if we have to like my business, my profit, then my road. We don't want to hear that rubbish. Do the job why we voted you into power. Charles, I rest my case.
Thank you so much, Himba. We do appreciate. And at this point in time, I'll read the comments that we have from the people following the program. And I need not anyone react to what I'm about to read. Remember, this program is an opinion-based program. So I'm about to read people's, opinions, just like you are from, giving us your opinions. CJ, Himba, Pesi, and Womkelebai. Right, this one is coming from Matthews Shatu saying, Himba is too emotional from the word go. Issues of human rights should be discussed by professionals. Invite lecturers and legal practitioners to speak. Thank you so much, Matthews Shatu. We actually appreciate for that, viewpoint. She's saying, Petty, saying no cases recorded anyway. Let's be factual. Thank you so much, Senga. We appreciate for that. Mulungu Ruben Jerome is saying, I think this program is for everyone to express their views. Totally, I agree with you. It is tailor-made in that fashion. Pastor Rafiki J. Jr. saying, we celebrate quick. That's our biggest problem as Zambia. Debt restructuring, and then what? Is fuel down? Is cost of living down? Jumping up and down for who? Fuel just went up after celebrating debt restructuring. Next month, we're going to see the same trend of governing. Thank you so much there. Again, Pastor Rafik J. Jr. saying, someone will say we won't see it now. I can assure you this will be a chance to borrow more. Again, the same Pastor Rafik J. Jr. saying, Womkelebai has issues with the past regime. And it ends in a laughter there. Thank you so much. We do appreciate, for those opinions. And I can see Chama has also joined in the laughter and also Womkelebai. Thank you so much. It's been a great night. Your opinions, are of great value. You are entitled to express yourself. This is why this program is called My Point of View. We respect each and everyone's view right on this program. CJ, Himba, Pesi, and Womkelebai, thank you so much. Not forgetting the people out there following the program. My name is Charles right here. Till next week, God bless you all. We are out of here.